Hello, dear listeners, and welcome to another episode of our podcast. Today, we're going to delve into the world of ever-blooming flowers, those perennial beauties that grace our gardens and homes with their continuous display of vibrant colors and enchanting fragrances. Let's start by understanding what ever-blooming flowers are. These are plants that bloom for a long period, often from spring until the first frost. They are the marathon runners of the plant world, providing us with a constant display of beauty and color. Now you might be wondering, how do these plants manage to bloom for such extended periods? Well, it's all down to their unique biology. Unlike other plants that have a specific blooming season, ever-bloomers have adapted to produce flowers continuously. This is often a survival strategy, allowing them to attract pollinators throughout the growing season and thus increase their chances of reproduction. One of the most popular ever-blooming flowers is the rose. There are many varieties of roses that are ever-bloomers, including hybrid teas, floribundas, and grandifloras. These roses are beloved by gardeners for their continuous display of stunning, fragrant blooms. But roses are not the only ever-blooming flowers. There are many others, including geraniums, marigolds, and petunias. These flowers are often used in borders, containers, and hanging baskets for their long-lasting display of color. Now let's talk about how to care for these ever-blooming flowers. Like all plants, they need the right conditions to thrive. This includes plenty of sunlight, well-drained soil, and regular watering. However, because they bloom for such a long period, they also need a little extra care. Firstly, it's important to feed your ever-bloomers regularly. Because they are constantly producing flowers, they use up a lot of energy and nutrients. A slow-release fertilizer applied in the spring can provide them with the nutrients they need to keep blooming all season long. Secondly, deadheading or removing spent flowers is crucial. This not only keeps the plant looking tidy, but it also encourages the plant to produce more flowers. When you remove a spent flower, you're essentially telling the plant that it needs to try again, prompting it to produce another bloom. Thirdly, while ever-bloomers are generally hardy, they can still be affected by pests. Regularly check your plants for signs of trouble, such as discolored leaves or holes in the foliage. If you spot any problems, treat them promptly to prevent them from spreading. Now let's talk about some of the benefits of having ever-blooming flowers in your garden. Firstly, they provide a continuous display of color, brightening up your garden and creating a cheerful atmosphere. Secondly, they attract pollinators such as bees and butterflies, which are not only beautiful to watch, but also play a crucial role in our ecosystem. Lastly, ever-blooming flowers can also have therapeutic benefits. Gardening is often touted as a form of therapy, and there's something incredibly satisfying about nurturing a plant and watching it bloom. Plus, the act of deadheading can be quite meditative, providing a moment of calm in our busy lives. In conclusion, ever-blooming flowers are a wonderful addition to any garden. They provide a continuous display of beauty, attract pollinators, and can even have therapeutic benefits. So why not consider adding some to your garden? You'll be rewarded with a riot of color from spring until the first frost. That's all for today's episode, dear listeners. I hope you've enjoyed our journey into the world of ever-blooming flowers. Until next time, keep your garden blooming and your heart full of joy.